Hello, everyone. I'm Eldar Tuvey, founder and CEO of Vertice. I'm going to tell you all about it. And I know that for the investors amongst you, there's probably only one question you want to know, and that's whether, is Vertice AI? So I'm sorry to have to disappoint you, but we're not. I'm not even going to pretend to be AI, but you should stay, because we are going to be helping those investors with their portfolio companies. Some of you companies out there, I think, will be quite helpful for you. I'm going to explain the problem, our product, and then a little bit more about our company. So just at a glance, software spend under management by Vertice. We help companies with their SaaS software and also with their cloud software. It's running at about $500 million right now in terms of software that is under management. Another 100 million in cloud, because it's quite a new service for us. A little bit about me. I've had two quite successful cybersecurity companies which exited, and Vertice itself has raised $26 million from Bessemer and 83 North. That was about 16 months ago. So just in terms of the problem, we help, as I said, companies save time and money on their software, on their SaaS contracts. But we need to understand what's really going on with SaaS. And as anyone who's ever purchased software will completely instinctively know this problem. Obviously, all SaaS vendors, of which we're one, want to increase their revenues. They want to maximize revenues from every single customer, and they want to squeeze as much as they can out of each and every contract. And that's fair enough. But what that leads to over time is that most customers are paying different prices for the same thing. There's a huge disparity between some companies paying list price and some companies who are getting discounts. And that's a lot to do with the fact that software has a marginal cost which is zero, which means in normal English that they can discount a lot for the same amount. And we've seen 5x difference between the people who are paying the most and the least. So first of all, there's a massive disparity. SaaS spending is growing out of control. We recently published some research showing that SaaS inflation is running at about 8.7%. And I think 73% of the vendors that we track have increased prices in the last year. And that's because vendors are constantly, obviously, trying to maximize revenues, which is also fair enough. But having spend that's going up, you're not quite sure where you are on this curve that I showed you, leads to overspending by a lot of customers. And software in general is, for the companies that we deal with, the second highest kind of spend category. After salary and payroll, that's where a lot of their spend is going. So it's important to bring it into control. And as anyone here will know, running a business, you will instinctively know that this is a very, very difficult thing to do. The purchasing process is fragmented. Marketing's buying some software. HR's buying different software. Marketing, I have to tell you, are not experts at buying marketing software. They're much better at driving people to your site, but they are definitely not experts in that kind of procurement. And that's where Vertice comes in to try and bring some sort of expertise and professionalism to that process. There's visibility is lacking. And getting the best deal from these vendors takes time. So if we look at how we try and solve this problem, we've seen that the spending is growing. It's not very well controlled. There's very little visibility. And what we've tried to do is bring a kind of a platform to bear, which is what we call our SaaS spend management platform. First of all, giving visibility and control. Secondly, trying to apply some benchmarked insights to minimize the cost for these customers, and lastly, some expert buying. And roughly speaking, cutting to the chase, we save customers something between 20 and 30% on their software costs. All of this is underpinned with data. Data is kind of the lifeblood for us, because every time a customer joins our platform, we get more contracts, we get more visibility ourselves, and then we're able to benchmark pricing for all of our customers. So if you come to us saying we spend X on Salesforce, I'll be able to tell you very accurately what other people spend, and that will help in the negotiation for your Salesforce renewal. So it's not that complicated, but it requires very, very detailed data, and that's really powerful when it comes to getting the best deal out of vendors. You need to know how vendors work, what drives them, what the end of year is, when the end of quarter is, how their price lists work, how their modules work. There's a lot to know for each vendor, and when you've got 130 apps in your portfolio, that's far too much for the regular kind of company to do. And I think, practice makes perfect. It's a repeated game in game theory. We're constantly talking to the same vendors, renewing contracts on behalf of our customers, and that means that I think we will probably do a better job than one of your people who is every 2 years talking to that vendor and trying to do a renewal. The way we do this is through a platform. I'm not going to go through it in too much detail, but basically we give you some visibility of when these contracts are coming up, all the key terms, where the spend is, and we also analyze usage, and that's quite interesting. So you can tell I've got 1,000 licenses of Salesforce, but I'm only using 700. That helps to inform the following renewal, and we'll may be able to cut some of those excess licenses. We obviously streamline all of these negotiations and let you also discover new tools that you might be interested in and give you that pricing at the beginning of your process as opposed to at the end, which is what vendors always like to do. So we benchmark the whole tech stack, we track all your spending, and everything is in one place. I don't have time to go into it today, but a lot of our customers asked us to help them with their cloud spend, not just their software spend. And cloud is an even bigger problem. A third of it is wasted, the spend that you have on AWS, GCP, Azure, etc. There's many idle resources. A lot of it is not optimized. And in an era where money was free, everyone was focused on building new products, getting new instances up, product development. No one was really looking at cost optimization because it's absolutely incredibly complex. It requires a lot of expert knowledge, and you want your cloud engineers to be building stuff as opposed to looking for savings and efficiencies. So we developed our cloud cost optimization platform, which is obviously fully automated platform for visibility of your cloud spend, telling your finance people how much you're spending, helping you bring some sort of control to that, and optimizing. I could go on and talk about this for hours, but I'm not going to. Optimizing all your automated tests for control of your cloud spend. So if we look at that, we've talked about our SaaS spend control and our cloud spend control, and what Vertice can do for you guys is extend your portfolio company's runways, basically make them more efficient and reduce their burn. So how do we do that? If you want to kind of get to the bottom line, we'll be saving your companies, or your company indeed, something like 20 to 30% of your annual costs. You get time back in the day because we'll deal with it for you, and you can focus on your more productive initiatives, new projects, etc. Just kind of talking a little bit about us. We started only 16 months ago. We've got hundreds of customers in about 23 countries. US is about 30% of our revenues right now. It's been an amazing kind of journey, and obviously we've timed it well because everyone's focused on efficiency and cost. And that's partly driven by the SaaS spend management, but also by cloud. Here's a nice chart for you. Up and to the right, I like all my charts to be like this. So we made this one earlier. We're obviously hitting double-digit ARR now, 160 employees with very little cash burnt. And we're helping bigger companies too. As we've got more experience, more confident, we know that we can help bigger companies, and we've just signed one of the largest UK supermarket chains with tens of millions of pounds of software spend. And how do we compare to the competition? I'm going to have to rush through this. Basically, we kick their ass. We have better ratings on G2. We beat them in bake-offs. We outperform them in terms of product development, but you can get some research reports out there. And that's also a lot because we bring SaaS and cloud together, which is their concern, rather than just focusing on one thing. And sometimes you don't need AI to help you make a decision. Just a bit of common sense can help. We guarantee the ROI. Not one tool that we buy in our company, whether it's HubSpot or Zoom or Google or Microsoft, no one guarantees an ROI for us, but we do that for our customers. We know we're going to save them money, and we guarantee that. And that has helped fuel our growth. And then lastly, what I would say is, I've told you before, we've run a few other quite successful businesses, but I've never seen product market fit like this. We're going through some sort of exponential growth, which brings with it its own issues, but there's so much opportunity facing us in terms of areas that we can expand to. But above all, we're enjoying the ride, so thank you very much for listening.